sports fans, fellow members of Mountaineer Nation. This is Coos, and welcome to another edition of Coos' Corner, your go-to channel for college sports with a heavy dose of West Virginia Mountaineers. I'm going to review the West Virginia men's basketball team's loss to Marquette in the Shriners Charleston Classic. But before I do that, I want to ask that if you haven't yet, please go ahead and hit that red subscribe button. Please give me the thumbs up if you like the video. Share it with your friends who like college sports. Now let's get on with the show. First, let's start with the reasons why West Virginia lost this game. The score was 82-71. West Virginia gave up a 13-point lead in the second half. They didn't put their foot on the gas. And what happened? First half, West Virginia dominated the game. Second half, come out, the complete opposite story. Number one reason, they didn't close out on shooters. Marquette had open shooters the entire second half. West Virginia just wasn't making their rotations on defense. I don't know if it was missed assignments, if it was just like a hustle. I don't know the reason, but they weren't closing out on shooters. Reason two, Kedrian Johnson's foul trouble. The officials of this game were calling the game much tighter than officials in previous games, and it took West Virginia away from what they do, which is play physical. Kedrian Johnson had been able to pretty much smother the opposing team's point guard in previous games. In this game, he wasn't able to do that because anytime he made contact, they called a foul on him. That prevented West Virginia from being able to put the amount of ball pressure they needed to on Marquette's point guard and allowed them to run their sets easier. Reason three, they got out-rebounded again. They were out-rebounded 37-32. Rebounding is part of West Virginia's core. That's who they are. They got to rebound the basketball better. The fourth reason, they got sloppy with the ball on offense, committed too many turnovers. West Virginia only had 10 in the game, which doesn't sound like a lot, but they came at the worst possible times when Marquette was in the middle of making runs, and it was able to swing momentum or keep momentum in some cases. And they were making bad decisions, dribbling into double teams. I saw Gabe Osaboyan dribble into a double team. I saw Taz do it. They were just making bad decisions with the basketball, which was kind of uncharacteristic, I thought. But a lot of that, I think, goes to Marquette's defense. Marquette really dialed up their defense in the second half, played much more aggressive, and played well and played really hard. You know, Shaka Smart's teams always play hard. They're always going to be hard-nosed, physical. They're going to get after you, and that's what happened. And I think what's most disappointing to me is Marquette's got 10 freshmen on that team. And West Virginia's got 7 seniors. And they wanted it more. You think the experience that West Virginia had would have been able to overcome the adversity that game presented. But Marquette's freshmen responded to the adversity better than West Virginia's upperclassmen. That's a little disappointing to me. Now I'm going to give you the reasons that Bob Huggins saw this coming. Even after the 3 games they had won, Bob Huggins had been saying this team doesn't guard well. We don't guard well. We're not any good. And everybody, as a fan, I looked at him thinking, man, this team's a pretty good team. What we didn't realize, or what I didn't realize, was the level of competition they'd been playing. They didn't need to guard as well. But when you play a team like Marquette, you have very little room for error, and that showed tonight. You got to guard better. You got to play harder. I don't know if it was lack of hustle. If it's, like I said, I don't know if it's lack of effort. I don't know what it is, but he saw it coming. And he actually ripped into the team last night after the win over Elon. Told the guys if they didn't want to be there, they needed to transfer. He wants guys that want to work and earn their spot, not guys that want it handed to them. And he said he's not going to hand anybody anything. He's going to make them work for it. So he's got a lot of guys that pout because they don't get playing time. So Huggins is trying to change the culture of this team. But what worries me about that is, if most of these guys are seniors, how are you going to change their culture? How are you going to change them? 21, 22, and 23-year-olds, you're probably not going to change them. Now, he could be referring to some of the younger guys. I'm not sure. He's obviously not going to name names, but apparently there's some guys on this team that aren't buying in and aren't doing what Hugs wants them to do, and it could be hurting the culture of the team. But I got faith that Hugs will get it fixed, and if he don't, then the guys that are causing problems will be gone, maybe even before the season's over. We know he's done that in the past, and he's not afraid to do it again. Now let's go over some stats. First, I'm going to put the team stats up on the screen for you. Field goal percentage, Marquette much better, but they shot 53% from the floor almost. But a lot of that was because West Virginia just wasn't closing out. You see West Virginia shot 42%. They were shooting 59% in the first half. So their field goal percentage plummeted in the second half. I don't know how many. They missed a lot of layups. I don't know how many layups they missed. 3-point percentage, 36.8 versus Marquette's 46. Marquette was getting more open shots. Free throws, 10 of 15. Not terrible, but not great. 66.7%. Need to be shooting in the 70s, in my opinion. Rebounds are again lost 37-32. Did win the offensive rebounding battle, but the defensive rebounding battle was atrocious on West Virginia's part. Marquette had more assists, which means they were moving the ball better. West Virginia did win in steals. Only 3 blocks in this game. They had been blocking shots at a high rate. Did have less turnovers and did commit less fouls. But there again, it just goes back to defense. They didn't guard the ball. They didn't guard Marquette well enough. They gave Marquette too many easy shots. Marquette's got shooters, and they're going to knock them down. You leave guys at this level open, they're going to make shots most of the time. Let's look at some key individual stats. Don't have those to put on the screen for you, but I'll just kind of go over them. Marquette's leading scorer was Kolek. I think his name's Tyler Kolek. Had 18 points. Shot 4 of 8 from 3-point range. Very good game for him. Man, he also had 6 rebounds and 8 assists. And what a game that kid had. Got to give him props, man. Kid played good. And then their leading scorer, Morsell, was on the bench most of the second half during this, believe it or not. That kid had scored 20 points in every game leading into this one, only had 11 tonight. And they were still able to beat the Mountaineers. Look at West Virginia. Sherman had another big night with 21 points. Jalen Bridges had 11 with 6 rebounds. Sean McNeill had 12 again. Biggest difference, Kedrian Johnson didn't get any steals. He came into the game leading the nation in steals, got 0 tonight. But like I said, a lot of that, he only played 13 minutes because he was in foul trouble all night. DeMond Kerrigan had 3 blocks. He played well under the basket defensively and on a few plays, but then he got benched for he blocked a guy and just kind of sat and stared at him and let the ball bounce on the floor instead of going after it. They missed a transition opportunity because he was too busy showboating instead of getting the ball. I'm sure he probably won't do that again. But that's really the key team stats there. Not a whole lot to give you, man. Just not a whole lot of positives in this game. But just to summarize, West Virginia's got to guard better. They got to rotate better. They've got to play harder and put forth more effort. It looked like Marquette wanted the game more than they did and just put forth more effort. And at the end of the day, when you got two teams where the talent's pretty even or close to even, the team that wants it more is going to win most of the time. So I'm hoping these guys will take this game, use it as a lesson that they got to play hard on every play. Can't take plays off. Then they'll come out next game Sunday, whoever their opponent is on Sunday, which I think will be Clemson. Hopefully they'll come out and play much harder. If Clemson's very capable of beating West Virginia if West Virginia doesn't come out and play their game and play hard and put forth the right amount of effort. So anyway, that's my breakdown of the game. Very tough night for the Mountaineers, but it's only 4 games in. It's a long season. I got faith Hugs will get it fixed. Like I said, I'm only predicting about a 17-18 win season anyway, so I'm not expecting this team to be great. But we'll see. I've liked some of the things I've seen in the first 3 games. Tonight, not so much. I really like how Taz Sherman's been playing. Guy's averaging 20 a game. He was 3rd team All Big 12 preseason. I think he's proven some people wrong there. He's going to end up hopefully 1st team by the end of the year, or at least 2nd team. He's probably playing with a little bit of a chip on his shoulder. Kid might be the most elite scorer in the conference. That's one positive, but and I like what I've seen out of Kedrian on defense. Those are probably and Jalen Bridges has been playing well. Those 3 and McNeill shooting the ball well, but they all got to guard better. The whole team as a whole's got to guard better. Anyway, I hope you like my video. Let me know in the comments what you think about the game. What do you think the keys were to West Virginia's loss? Why they lose the game? And don't forget to subscribe. Thank you for tuning in. Until next time.